Is a Jinx and Tahm Kench bot lane. So let's look at your runes and masteries. Yep, pretty standard. Actually, not standard AD carry runes. You go for attack damage quintessences instead of attack speed. Flat AD marks, flat armor seals, flat magic resist glyphs. So the quintessences are the ones that are in question here. But everything else seems pretty standard. Go for Fervor of Battle, get Secret Sash. Perfect. Pretty straightforward stuff. There might even be an argument with Hurricane Kalista to go for Warlord's Bloodlust as opposed to Fervor, but we'll just skip that. Kalista is particularly hard to master, just in general. But it's also worth noting that Kalista is really strong at the later ends of the game. In fact, probably the best AD carry, especially when it comes to securing objectives. So if your team is very objective focused, it makes it a lot easier for you because you get to play to the strengths. If your team is very team focused in terms of the team fighting, and you're not as comfortable team fighting, that could be a little bit challenging for you. But the Taric should be protecting you pretty well in this bot lane. Let's see the damage and the pain that Kaepernick sucks the Jinx puts on here. You are on the blue side, and we'll give you blue Fog of War. Okay, so running around, going for Durans and some potions, pretty standard stuff. I wonder if you will start with the Krugs. I think you will, or at least you should, because you have Kalista. Scale up your W. That is fine for the most part, but if you're given the Krugs, you're probably going to want to start out with your Rend and be able to solo it. You are here in lane, and the one thing that I want you to be cognizant of is this idea of when you are pushing the lane, it makes it so that the other lane has an opportunity to freeze if they want, and because they have someone like Skarner, it might be a good idea for them to potentially go ahead and freeze this lane. So far, missed a couple CS, mechanical stuff that you can work on. But other than that, let's just see where the first couple of trades come in. Because your actual strength and value doesn't really come until you get your Rend or your Spear. Pierce is the name for it. It looks as though there are a couple opportunities where Taric goes in for some harass. There you go. Very good in terms of harassing back. Missing out on some CS, but again, this is a champion that is particularly mechanically challenging, so it can be bad at some points. You are going against what should be a pretty straightforward lane once the Tahm Kench sort of uses the abilities and tries to protect the Jinx. Right here, you make the mistake of continuing to go after the Tahm Kench as opposed to going after the Jinx when she turns on you. So let's rewind that really quick. So right here, Tahm Kench hits you with his Tongue Lash, and you get a stun from Taric. So that's one attack, but right there, he's too far away. So that's one auto attack. Could have been two auto attacks, and even a third auto attack from Jinx. So you should have instead just turned onto Jinx, as opposed to chasing after the Tahm Kench. And we're watching this so far. It seems as though it is a pretty straightforward lane. You want to make sure that you're not too far ahead when they have the minion advantage, because if you auto attack them, the minions are going to smack you. Let's miss CS. Successful CS. And we'll see as to what this brush right here should be warded. And all of a sudden, you are getting ganked by the Skarner. You do a really, really good job in terms of sort of avoiding all of those abilities. And missing the CS. One nice trick about Kalista, I don't know if you actually know this trick, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. If you have, let's say you attack the Jinx, and then you attack a minion, and you actually get refunded mana back if you use your Rend, which is your E, and it kills a minion. So you actually get pretty much a, not free, but a virtually free Rend if you not only put it on an enemy target, but also put it onto a minion as well, and you kill said minion. So that's a good way to sort of balance the, do I attack the minion, do I attack the enemy AD carry, do I attack the enemy support. In this particular example, that would have been a pretty good opportunity for you to balance your mana a little bit better. It doesn't seem as though you are doing much in terms of harassing them, which is fine, because remember, we're just trying to scale up to the latter part of the game. In this moment, though, we're seeing that that Tahm Kench is actually playing a little bit further away from the Jinx. So there might be a couple of opportunities for you to ping your jungler, hey, come help us. They're pretty far ahead, right? So imagine this being the center where the two brushes actually stop connecting. Imagine if this was the center of the lane. It's not, but it's pretty close to it. Imagine if this was the center of the lane. This little crack right here. Anytime the enemy team is past this center, you should be pinging like crazy for your jungler to come help you out. And the reason is that if your jungler comes even through Tribush, even if they're spotted over here, or in the case of having Skarner on the map, which is a rarity over here, they can still actually get to the enemy team before the enemy team can react fast enough and run in this direction. Now it might be the case where the Tahm Kench will eat up the Jinx, get a speed boost and run away, spit her out. But if that does happen, it actually relieves a lot of pressure from you. You get to farm and last hit a lot more comfortably. It's not that big of a deal. Right here again, we see that the Jinx is moving forward within your auto attack range. Might be a good opportunity for you to get damage off because it's going to take a couple of hits before the Tahm Kench can come over here and protect the Jinx. Now, think about it from this perspective. We know that this minion right here is very low. We also know that you are about to kill this minion, which means that there's no other minion for you to last hit within the next 2 to 6 seconds. Now, if we know that there's no minion for you to auto attack, and we know that Jinx is going to go for this one, this is the perfect opportunity to harass the Jinx. She's going for it. We could be moving forward. We could be auto attacking. Take stock again. She is auto attacking these minions. She is going to kill them. She's going to get another hit off here. If you auto attack and then run, you will kill and refund the mana for this and do extra damage to her as well. But instead, you just run. You know she's going to go for this one. Free auto attack harass available. Don't go for it. You're still just kind of auto attacking. All of a sudden, Tarek goes in for the stun. Too far away. Tahm Kench eats her away. And all the gank potential is kind of lost. Right now, you are fighting this. Tarek is about to get put in the proverbial pizza if he stays up. I feel used reactively, not so bad. Now, we think about the overall damage that you could be doing. You don't have vision. You are auto-attacking the Tahm Kench, who is particularly tanking. And we keep going. So, the decisions when it comes to when to harass and who to harass seem to be a little bit awry, in that you're harassing the support when the AD carry is a little bit close. So it's not as though the support is the only person. That's a great trade. It's not as though the support is the only person that is within attacking range. You could actually go for the AD carry and think about the overall tankiness of these people. Just because the... Oh, great initiate right here. This should be... almost kill. Just because the Tahm Kench has less HP doesn't mean that it's going to take a quicker amount of time to kill him. As a matter of fact, it's actually a little bit deceiving because you could kill the Jinx in a much faster time than you can kill the Tahm Kench, especially with his extra little bits of health from his thick skin. So, landing phase, pretty straightforward. Could be doing a lot more in terms of pressuring them. You get a good gank from the Elise. Not much you can do past that. You're actually down a little bit on CS, not too much. So, we're okay with it. Now, at what point do you decide to back? So you decide to back now with 1,300 gold. So I imagine you're going to pick up pieces of Blade of the Rune King. Okay, and for your Scepter. Boots, I would say use that 300 gold more effectively. Don't pick up boots. Go for a extra longsword and potion, just because you won't need boots based on how the lane is going, and you especially won't need boots sooner than you'll need the completed piece of Blade of the Rune King. Tarek decides to stay. Good tongue lash dodge. He's down here, and we know that pretty soon, as you arrive back to lane, you are going to be able to make the lives of the other people a living hell? Or are you? The answer, unfortunately, is no. You are not going to be making their lives a living hell, because once you have decided to back, the Taric stays, and once the Taric backs, you stay. So, unfortunately, the power that you have now in the form of boots, which would be a longsword, and a Vampiric Scepter with a potion, is all but gone. You miss an opportunity because the Taric decided to stay a little bit forward, use all of his mana, and lose half his life to press forward and to make something happen. And unfortunately, now it is a 2 versus 1 lane. They're going to push this last wave in, and they're probably just going to back and build items. So the perceptive advantage that you did have, or that you could have had, out the window. It's gone. Can't do anything about that. Let's just assume they're going to back. Seems to be the case. They decide to stay. Now you have an item advantage. They don't have an item advantage, and you're about to have a 2-person item advantage. Now they decide to back. Interesting. I know nothing about this elo. Plays are confusing me. You have an item advantage. I don't know how many times I need to say item advantage, but you have it. You not only have an item advantage on you, but you have an item advantage on the Taric, which means you can take a whole bunch of harass. You have the opportunity with the Jinx right here to try to go ahead and stun her. You have an opportunity with the Dazzle. You have an opportunity to actually use your ultimate to knock her up, or even to attack, and the second that he goes to eat her, to knock both of them up. So you have multiple opportunities to make things happen, but instead you are just kind of farming casually in this lane, and you're gaining no real benefit despite having a pretty huge benefit. So at this point, we just want to figure out, okay, he's eaten her, it's going to be a bit of time until he can eat her again. We should stop pushing the lane, because when we push the lane, it makes it so that those different individuals, that the Jinx and the Tahm Kench, which this is terrifying now that I'm seeing it a little bit Renekton-like, that the Jinx and the Tahm Kench actually are able to safely farm under tower, and it actually puts you at a disadvantage in case, let's say, the Skarner wanted to gank. You get an item advantage. Both of you have an item advantage. What you want to do is you want to freeze the lane and be aggressive on them. Make it so that they're forced to back away, because they can't last hit without you harassing them. And when they go to back away, you stop them from backing away, and you basically imprison them in lane. So they say, you can't farm, and you can't back. And to make sure, I'm going to use my items, I'm going to use my Vampiric Scepter, my boots, and I'm going to basically ensure that there's no way for you to back out. And unfortunately for them, it's going to require them to back all the way to the base here, and at that point you could just farm last hit and freeze the spot lane, and then all these minions will have died. Huzzah. Cool. So that's part one. Part one is figuring out when you have this item advantage and what to do with it. So use it, freeze the lane, make sure that they are forced to either come, put themselves at risk to get last hits, or if they decide to back off, you can actually go ahead and initiate forward, stop their backs, potentially get a kill, but I doubt it against Tahm Kench lane. So that's thing one. Thing two, and this is probably a more important thing, if we back up just a little bit to right here, slow it down. You have an opportunity when Jinx decides to come back in here, right now, to ult the Taric and throw him and his Shining Gems into the Jinx, get a nice knock-up, and start beating the hell out of them. Now, I think this comes back to the degree of comfortability you have on a champion, like the Kalista. You don't really feel as though you can use that as a kill potential. So what I would do if I was you is find ways to use your item advantage, use your damage advantage, and more importantly, use everything in your arsenal to take out the Jinx. If you use your Fate's Call, throw the Taric in the mix, and then Taric, with the knocked up Jinx, immediately starts to use Dazzle. It's not like he really has to aim it anywhere. It's straight in front of him. The Jinx is knocked up. Pretty much a free shot in all purposes of the word. So, boom. Take advantage of your items. Take advantage of the kill potential. Take advantage of the Jinx. Let's just kind of skirt ahead here and see a little bit how the game unfolds not just in the laning phase, but perhaps some other decisions. Just some pretty skirmishes. You have to flash away from Skarner ultimate. Good play. You don't know if Skarner's there. Skarner is there. That is a fault of your own. Not you, but the Taric. It's a fault of Taric. Aha! So, your Taric is dead. You will scatter his ashes across Mount Targon or whatever the lore says. With the vision that you have, we see that the Tahm Kench is no longer there. And we see that the Jinx is at about 1/4 of her total HP. Kill her. If you don't kill her, force her to use her flash. Because I don't know if you're keeping track of this. I know that she hasn't used her flash yet. Mostly because I remember it and I see it in Spectator mode. So, kill her. Instead, you're just letting her farm for free. Opportunity to go one-on-one against her. And if you get enough of the Ren stacks up, that is just very, very, very easy opportunity for you to secure the kill. Okay? The second, and this is really a rule too for when your supporters that are with you too. What we see a lot, especially within the current meta, and I guess we've seen this for a bit of time, is that supports tend to roam a lot. The second that you and your support are in lane together and you see the other support run away, go. With a champion like Kalista, ultimate in, throw them in the mix. Easy opportunity for you to secure kills. Come over here, Kalista objective focused, free dragon for you guys. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Then you secure it. You go back. Pick up a cutlass. Head back to lane. And right now, we're seeing the opposite of what I had just described. Now at this point, your support is not there. And they can pretty easily kill you under tower. And I want to guess and say that they do. If they don't, they're playing a little bit silly. Okay, they get a little bit spooked by seeing the Elise and Taric come together. If the Elise misses the cocoon, you use your fate's call. Problem with playing against Tahm Kench, he eats her up. Back to safety, not a whole lot that you can do. When did you die here? That is when you guys die. Okay. I was just curious as to see when the first time that you died was. Cool. So, we talked about a couple... I hate that I have to keep resetting my client. We talked about a couple of things that you need to think about in terms of when it is that you can initiate, when it is that you can punish, when you should try to avoid taking a lot of that damage. But for the most part, I think some of it comes down to just comfortability with the champion like Kalista, because it is very, very different playing her than it is playing a lot of other champions. So just something for you to think about. But I'm not at all scared that you're an inept player in any way. I think that there are obviously room for you to improve, but I give you the double thumbs up. I thought you did relatively well, given what you describe as inexperience on the champion. So all of that seems to make sense for what it is that we are witnessing. Wow.